This is a documentary for Let's Be Ready concerning our Refaccion training in our visit to 6 community classrooms in August of 2001. The classrooms are in La Pila, Hermano Pedro, San Juan del Obispo, San Miguel Escobar, Alotenango, and San Antonio Agua Calientes. We arrived at San Juan to find them in a mercado. The kids are selling vegetables to the local people with the help of their parents. All of the proceeds from this mercado go to the school. You'll see a variety of things for sale, some things that we would like to encourage and some things we don't encourage. Those are the things that are processed or other snacks for the kids. But you'll also see a lot of fresh vegetables and fresh fruits. Not only are they for sale, but you can see them being eaten by the children. Lucy told us that the parents had already begun giving Refaccion to the children using some of their own fresh food. This is the schedule that they had up on the board. We are here in this community to explain the Refaccion program, teach basic nutrition principles, teach basic gardening methods, and distribute seeds. We are also evaluating the current menu and the method for supplying and preparing the fresh food, suggesting changes and offering further training in preparing the nutritional meals and also in gardening. What you'll see are excerpts from the presentation to the mothers group in San Juan del Obispo by our coordinator. Jose starts off the meeting by reminding the mothers how important they are to the functioning of the school and how they are critical to the success of the Refaccion program. Jose then acknowledged that they had already started the program there and asked the mothers how it's gone for the first week. The first mother to speak mentioned that she had used the fortified rice and had added carrots and onions and beans and also served orange juice with it. The second mother said that she had served atole with black beans. Jose continued then using a diagram from a book that we found from another NGO that shows very simply the types of foods that need to be consumed and why they need to be consumed during a week. His big point here was there needs to be a variety. He showed some diagrams with using the type of food that we supply. One of them is in caprina, another is the fortified rice, and showed how other fresh foods can be combined with our fortified foods to have a complete diet for the week. Jessica added a bit of clarification, mentioning that protein doesn't have to just come from animals. It can come from things that they're currently serving, like beans. Jose went on to point out some of the things that shouldn't be in the diet, or at least there shouldn't be too much of, and he mentioned both grease and sugar. And he gave an example of a child that was given extra sugar to bring to school because his mother knew that he didn't like to have drinks that didn't have a lot of sugar in them. And that's a problem. Jessica added that we are the adults here and we need to make sure we control what the children eat, and gave an example of how one of our teachers, Lorena, made up a story about this giraffe and how he wanted to have little bits of banana in his cereal, and then asked each of the children if they wanted a little bit to be like the giraffe, and then counted the pieces as she put them in to also use it as a math exercise. He then went on to talk a little bit about the problem of giving children a quetzal to bring to school with them to buy something during school time. They go to the tiendas around the school and they buy things that are Tortrix and other highly processed foods with no energy and no real vitamin benefit to the children. He then went on to talk about the short-term and long-term benefits of the program that we're offering for Refaccion, including the gardens. And he said, number one, in the short term, the kids need the food in their stomach to give proper attention to their studies. Secondly, it's an incentive for them to come to school and have a good snack, and they look forward to it each day. And third, the teacher can use these things that she's doing with the Refaccion to teach the children about good health and hygiene practices. He continued that in the long term, they will have better health, the children will, and you will have fewer doctor bills for those children. And he said if you continue to use these same things that you're learning about in your home, about hygiene and health, that will also carry over to the members of your family. He said, in the gardens, if you start growing your own vegetables and fruit, you can save money and have more money left to do other things in your household. Jose has been speaking for about 20 minutes so far, explaining about the nutrition and answering questions about the way our system's going to work for Refaccion and learning about how far they've gotten already. And now he goes into telling more about the gardens. Jose then started relating some examples from his experience and talked about how happy the people were, the mothers in Chocolat, who already had some results from their gardens, where they could just go out and get some onions or some herbs and use them in their cooking. He also talked about the method that they use there, which is based on the square meter garden, that has many things mixed together in the same small garden, instead of having long rows and many of the same plant. He went on to say that we actually have some advantages over places like Chocolat that are along the coast, because the soil here is very good. He had spent time with an agronomist and mentioned that we really don't have to do much to amend the soils here, mostly to add what he called black dirt, which is really manure and composted material, and that we can actually have very good crops of vegetables in our gardens. Jose then continued to explain the benefits of gardening organically, and how they had the advantage of not having all of the pesticides and other chemicals added to the food. And then he began to explain to them a method of composting that he has learned, where they take scraps of their vegetables and other things that they're not going to eat, and combining them with some dirt and being able to have compost within several weeks. Jose then takes out some seeds that he's brought along and starts giving detailed instruction on how much distance to have between plants, how deep, why some plants require more room to grow. He also answered their questions about when to plant and emphasized the necessity of crop rotation. He concluded by telling them even if they didn't have much land, they could always do container-sized gardens and still provide food for their family and be able to share with the preschool. Before he started handing out seeds to those that wanted them to start their garden, he confirmed that there really is not a requirement that they do gardening. The requirement is to provide fresh food to go along with the fortified grains, cereals, and other drinks that we're providing. The last item before we left was to determine how many people wanted to enroll in the training that we've arranged. One day for nutrition training, which is really a cooking class, and another day for learning more about gardening aspects, including composting and how to start seedlings on their own. We visited 5 other classroom locations, including La Pila. These are the 2 teachers from there, excellent teachers both. We found they had a strong family center already functioning there that we think we can work with. We talked with the lady that was preparing the food with her 2 little girls, and saw the kids cleaning their utensils before they sat down to have their refaccion. They were enjoying the rice and some added vegetables that were being served that particular day. We did not stay to do training at this rural village. That'll be left for another time, but rather we spent the time talking with some NGOs that already work in the area, one with the Mothers Group Strong Family Center and another with a gardening program. And we think we can partner with them to continue our work there. Next is Hermano Pedro, an aldea of Antigua and Santa Ana. The Mothers Group was already gathered there when we arrived. They've begun serving their Refaccion. They have a calendar of mothers' responsibilities and a menu for each day. They're giving the vitamins to the children along with the meal. The teacher kept the kids in a separate room while Jose did his usual presentation and showed people how the square meter gardening process might work. We took a little walk around and surveyed all the materials to see that they were being well kept and that there was a clean bathroom and a place for the kids to wash their hands. Another town that we visited with our traveling Capacitacion was San Miguel Escobar. This town is not very far from Antigua, but still has a very rural feel. It's well managed by the teacher. She relates the letter F to fruits and the letter V to vegetables. The books are well maintained. One of the books there is provided by the government. It talks about vegetables and why you should eat various vegetables. This is very helpful to our program. Again, Jose gathered the mothers together and made a presentation. I had a little fun having my picture taken with the group. Ahuetenango is another community where we have a preschool, and we visited to do the Capacitacion. The kids also were kept in a separate room, which was very helpful. We took a little walk around that classroom to see how that teacher was maintaining it, the resources that she had, and also the way that the centers were set up. They only have water twice a week, but the bathroom was functioning. We noticed a few things here that we weren't so happy about in the kind of things that the mothers had provided for the kids this day. As you can see, there's some snacks that are heavy in sugar and not much in nutrition. This banana was a good thing. But it gave us topics to talk with the teachers, with the mothers group, in this particular community. So we took good advantage of it. Again, Jose went through his standard training session using the materials he's developed over the last 6 weeks. I then spent some time in the local mercado. I wanted to see what kind of foods were available there. I found plentiful fruits and vegetables as I walked up and down the 2-block stretch. It reinforced that the program here is not based on not having food, but it's based on eating the right kinds of food.